FM 94, The Dark. It is that time again. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And on the phone tonight, I am talking with Margarita Monet. She's the lead singer of the band Edge of Paradise. And the name Edge of Paradise might sound familiar to you, Dark listeners. That's because currently that band right now is in the Rock in the Dark New Music Poll. And the last time I looked, Margarita, you guys were actually in the lead right now. You must have some loyal fans out there. First of all, Margarita, welcome to the Dark. How are you doing?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. So, as I mentioned, you must have a lot of fans out there of this band. And how did this band all come about? Give us the history of Edge of Paradise.
Cool. Yes, we're very lucky. We have some really awesome fans, and it's been a while that we've been building our fan base. Dave and I started the band about 5 years ago. Dave is the guitar player. And when we met working on a project, it was like a different project that a local LA producer hired us to do. And Dave, at the time, he used to have a band called Bleed, and it was funded by Robin McCauley and Greg Bissonette and Tony Franklin were the rhythm section. And then all those guys went on tour their separate ways, so Dave had a lot of music left over and that was never released, and he was, looking to put a band back together. And I kind of fell into it. When I met him, we worked really great together, and I kind of, I wanted to have a project, and I wanted to take it all the way. And we, connected on the same, basically, vision. And he showed some of the music that he had, and, I sang on it, and that was our first CD, Mask. Of course, now it sounds completely different because now, we're writing the music, but that was the foundation that we started to build the band from. And from there on, we just kept doing it, and the current lineup has been together for 3 years now, and we've toured over 30 states, and, we have 3 CDs now, so we just keep plugging away at it.
That's awesome. And, of course, you have a new EP that you just released here a couple weeks ago called Alive, and the current track we're spinning right now is Alive. Talk about, I guess, the latest EP. I had a chance to listen to all 5 songs on there, and I tell you what, if people haven't listened to it yet, your voice is it lures you in. It's very mysterious, is what I want to kind of say. Have you ever had anybody say that at all when they hear the music that you're singing?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I guess so. Alive. It came to be, basically the message behind it is it's about our present-day world, our present-day society and the way of living. And, sometimes we get so caught up in, chasing time and chasing status or money or whatever it may be that we forget that, we exist. You have to sometimes stop yourself and kind of take the moments in. And also with the technology, and I think it's easy to get lost. And, we just want to kind of encourage people to have real human relationships rather than, relationships in virtual realities. So that's kind of like a message behind the CD. And, of course, different songs explore different, issues that we're dealing with or, my outlook on life, I guess, and my experiences. But, that's the overall message, and we've been very lucky to work with Chuck Johnson. He produced the CD, and he's the guy behind Korn and Slipknot, and he really helped us to bring out more heavier, more industrial sound of the band. And, the reason a lot of people ask me is why we put together an EP and not a full album. It's because, we didn't want to wait that long to release something, and also because the songs tie in together very nicely, and they kind of carry, the underlying message.
Very cool. Very cool. Now I know what the EP was all about, because one of my favorite songs off of it, obviously I like the latest track, We're Spinning Alive, but I was really digging Shade of Crazy. But now I know the reason why that album is, or that EP was made. So I fit perfectly for that, because there's some craziness in me.
Cool. Well, all of us are a bit shade of crazy, right? That's a good thing.
Absolutely. Hey, let's talk about the name for a minute. Well, how did you come up with Edge of Paradise? Is there a story behind this? Is there a meaning to this name, or is it just a name you said, let's just call this band Edge of Paradise?
Yeah, it's always the hard part to come up with a band name. I guess it kind of reflects the music, and Dave is from he was from a heavy metal background, and I'm more from like a classical, I guess, background, and we kind of wanted the name to reflect the heavier side and more of a lighter side, and also, living in LA, it can be a deceiving paradise. To others it may seem like, oh, people live here, it's so easy, it's so nice, it's such a paradise, the weather is always great. But it can be deceiving because it can be, hard, and if you fall off the edge, it's very difficult to get back on. So, people live here on the edge, and so do we. So that's kind of where the name came from.
Nice, nice. We're talking with Margarita Monet. She's the lead singer of the band Edge of Paradise. And you mentioned classical background, and I've been following a lot of different bands that have female lead singers, and I've had a lot of them on our airwaves to do interviews, and a lot of them have said they've had classical background training when it comes to singing, and you're yet another one of those. Why do you think that is? That the ladies, I guess, that are in the rock industry now had that background coming in?
Well, I actually didn't have classical singing background.
Okay.
I'm a classical pianist.
Well, okay, there you go. Well, still, though, you're still in that realm then, okay?
Yes. But actually, I wasn't never really a singer. I sang, some musical theater, but I think our first CD, Mask, was actually where I figured out what I could do with my voice. And, but, being basically, playing piano my whole life really helped me with songwriting, because whatever I hear in my head, I can put it, in the melody on the piano right away. And I think that really, really helped me. And, just creatively, too, to come up with melodies and songs and stuff like that. But singing-wise, that's why I love rock and metal so much. I think it's really about the attitude and the emotion you put in your voice. And then, of course, you have to be able to sing, and I work on my voice a lot. But I think, to me, the biggest challenge and what I want to come through the songs is, the emotion that I'm trying to convey, basically.
Yeah, and it does definitely in the songs that I've heard. There's definitely emotion there. Like I said, you have that mysterious kind of sound that makes me want to listen to more and see what you're saying. So, which is really cool, because
Cool,
that's something I think you can't necessarily teach. It just happens to be there, I think.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Hey, one thing I'm very intrigued now that you said you never were a singer. You were more behind the scene, the piano. Yeah, you did some writing that you maybe sang along. But how crazy is it for you to be on stage in front of people singing? Did you have a lot of fear when you started doing this?
Yes, it was terrifying. I mean, I've performed before. I was in, I grew up doing theater and, playing piano and stuff like that. So I didn't really fear the stage.
Right.
But when you front a band, it's so different, because you're right there in front of people. And, when you're doing a theater play or something, there's, a wall between you and the audience sometimes, But here, you're, right in front of them, and you have that direct connection. So at first, it was very different. It was definitely terrifying for me. And the funny thing is, I remember my parents, they used to have DVDs of, Queen and Led Zeppelin live in concert, and I used to watch them when I was a kid. And in my head, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I could never, ever in a million years do that. And then just completely, it wasn't even in my head that I could possibly want to pursue that. And so now, looking back, it's so weird to me how life works, because that's what I'm pursuing now, basically. So it's kind of cool.
Have you got any help from anybody, I guess, when it comes to the vocal side of things, or maybe for that matter, even your stage presence as being a front person in a band as the lead singer?
I went to college for it was like acting and music,
Okay.
and we had a class there. It was just about breathing and speech and stuff like that. And I think what really helped me is that breathing class because, when you sing, it's all about breath control, and I think that's what makes your voice really powerful. And really, I think that's what really got me to be able to control my voice and to get the power out is through that class. But, nothing else like that. I mean, stage presence-wise, I think I learned quick how to use the stage and stuff like that. Because, and like I said, I grew up performing, so it wasn't very different for me. It was just a different kind of performance. I think once I got over being terrified of the audience in front of you,
Yeah.
and then you just started to connect with them, and it's so awesome because when you see people in front of you and they're lured in by your music and they're so into it, you just feed off of it, and there's nothing more exciting than that.
I know. I don't know. I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, I'm a very outgoing person, and I can speak on a microphone, and I know there's lots of people listening. But when they're sitting in front of me, looking at me, I'd be like, "How you doing, everybody?" I'd be a little nervous. I don't know how. I don't know how. It's got to be just that right mindset to get up there and just do what you do. And I'm assuming you love it so much, so that's why you do it.
Yeah, I love it. And the funny thing is, because in live, like when my friends that knew me from before, they see me on stage and I'm a completely different person. In life, I'm like very reserved and low key, and on stage, I don't know. You just kind of I guess you lose yourself in the music and you lose yourself in the audience. So you kind of forget that you're you. You just you just give yourself to the music. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. Because if I'm in my head, then I would just be too nervous, I guess,
Right.
to do it.
We're talking to Margarita Monet. She's the lead singer of the band Edge of Paradise, which you can vote for right now on the Rock of the Dark New Music Poll. And, of course, the winning song gets put into our full rotation for the next couple of months. Let me ask you that next question here. Rock radio and that. How have you been out there much with rock radio yet? How are your latest song, Alive, being perceived, I guess, out there across the U.S. of A.?
We've been getting really great response, and we're very happy that people are responding well to the new music. We've been on radio before with our previous CD, Immortal Walls, and, we've done well, but we never had, like, a song breakthrough, FM stations that have been put in, like, full rotation. So right now it's a very exciting time for us, and we're super happy that the CD charted on Billboard as well, so I hope that it keeps basically doing well, and we keep spreading the music.
Yeah, how tough is it? I guess.
Good.
Yeah, how tough is it for you guys? I mean, you're out of LA, so you have lots of resources out there, but also you're muddled in so much music that sometimes it's difficult to get your name out there, isn't it?
Yeah, we consider ourselves to be even playing-wise, it's better to tour outside of LA just because it is so saturated. And I think sometimes people also take it for granted here because there's so much going on. When you go out, to some other cities or, smaller towns, then people are so much more excited because, they don't get it as often, I guess. But, still being in LA, we get a lot of love from people here, and I think, we've been doing this for 5 years now, so we kind of broke through the scene a bit, so now we're a bit more known in the area, so it's a bit easier for us. We're just trying to really branch out and make this band more international.
Very cool. And speaking of international, you mentioned that you're actually, if I saw right, you're going overseas here sometime later in the fall, right? Am I correct on that?
Yes, we're very excited. We're playing a female metal event in the Netherlands, and I hope right now we're in the process of booking more shows, so we're probably going to hit Germany, maybe UK as well. So, that's the goal. We just want to tour as much as we can. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Have you been to Minnesota yet?
We've been to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Almost made it.
Almost. Well, that's not.
We will be back. We just got an RV, so we are so determined to
Okay.
get It's in every state.
Awesome. So I guess if somebody would come to an Edge of Paradise show, what would they expect? What would they see that? And obviously, we'd hear the music, but I guess what would we see on stage happening, I guess? What is a show like?
It's epic. We want to make our show an experience. So, of course, it's very important to us that we sound just like the record, even and amped up with the energy of a live show. So you're gonna be like on a sonic roller coaster ride.
Ah, okay.
And also, the visuals. I want the show to be very, theatrical and visually stunning as well to just, back up the music. So, it's definitely something that we work on, and we create as much of a really fun experience for people.
Okay. And you mentioned theatrical a little bit. Is there costumes involved? Is there different wares, or is it just a bunch of people up there just rocking out? I mean, what are we looking at, I guess?
Well, no, we don't really wear costumes. I mean, we are a rock band,
Yeah.
So I guess what we wear is rock and roll. I mean, I like to play around with really cool outfits, and so you will see me, in different outfits. But the show-wise, we have some stage props, and we have lights, and we have backdrops and stuff like that, and smoke machines. So whatever the songs require, we have stuff to back it up.
Very cool. The one question I always like to ask up-and-coming artists is if you had to go out and tour with 3 other bands, who would you love to go out with on a tour, to put together a tour? So it's Edge of Paradise along with 3 other bands. Who would those bands be?
Probably Rammstein and Korn.
Ah, I could see that. That could be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be very fun. That would be very fun indeed. Hey, let's talk.
Definitely.
Let's talk about, obviously, you got the EP going right now. You got yourself, sounds like some tour dates coming up in that. How can people find out more information about the band Edge of Paradise?
Cool. Well, we're easy to find. You can go to our website, edgeofparadiseband.com, or you can go to our Facebook page, just search Edge of Paradise. Our Twitter is Edge of Paradise 1, Instagram, Edge of Paradise, and we're very social, so drop us a line. We always have fun giveaways going on. We just did a guitar giveaway, so definitely come by, connect with us, and we'll keep you posted on what we have coming. And also, right now, everyone who downloads our CD Alive, we're mailing out signed postcards of the cover art. So that's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I saw the cover art.
Yeah.
Talk about the cover art for a minute. Who designed that?
Yes, the guy, his name is Timo Ward, and he's out of Germany, and it's a painting, actually. He's an amazing artist, and we've worked with him. This is the second cover that we've worked with him on. And, yeah, it's really cool, and I think he totally captured the message of the city. Don't get lost in your, outer shell of a machine. Hold on to the humanity.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, and we also want those fans to be voting right now, too, don't we, for the Rock in the Dark Music Ball. So we got to get that vote surge out there here, because we still got a lot of time yet to vote, and there's other bands out there that are trying to get to that top spot. So I guess if you had to say one last thing to our listeners listening, what would you like to say to them?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for their support. We can't do it with, music fans like you. That's what keeps us inspired, and we're just very excited to share our music with you. We're very proud of this one, and we hope you like it.
Awesome, and hopefully we get you to Minnesota sometime, too. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes. Yes, as long as it's not snowing.
What? You're saying you don't want to come here when it's like 20 below? We'll take you out ice fishing. How about that? Have you ever ice fished before?
Oh. No, but I would love to.
See? There you go. That's one thing I got that most people don't get, at least, especially if you're in L.A. You can't walk on water there, but you can do it here in Minnesota. Only in the winter, though.
Awesome.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for joining, Margarita, and good luck to you, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon, okay?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Once again, that is the lead singer of the band Edge of Paradise. That is Margarita Monet. Their latest song is called Alive, which you can vote for right now. You're hearing it right now. It's on the Dark. It's on FM 94.